Three police posts X, Y, and Z are such that Y is 50 km on a bearing of 060 degree from X, while Z is 70 km from Y and on a bearing of 300 degrees from X. A. Using a suitable scale, draw a diagram to represent the above situation. B. Determine the distance in kilometer of Z from X. So first of all, we get a suitable scale, and our scale here is going to be 1 centimeter represent 10 kilometers. 1 centimeters represents 10 kilometers, and we are given 50 kilometers here. This is 50 kilometers, and here we are given 70 kilometers here. So now 1 centimeter represents 10 kilometers. What about 50 kilometers? It will be represented by how many centimeters in the diagram. So we see that we put 50 here. 1 centimeter represents 10 kilometers. 50 kilometers will be represented by, we cross multiply 1 times 50 over 10, which is giving us 5 centimeters. So 5 centimeters will represent 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers. 1 times 50 over 10, giving us 5 centimeters, representing 50 kilometers. What about 70 kilometers? 70 kilometers. 1 centimeter represents 10 kilometers. 70 kilometers will be represented by, we cross multiply 1 times 70 over 10, and this is giving us 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters will represent 70 kilometers in our sketch. So now 3 police posts X, Y, and Z are such that Y is 50 km on a bearing of 60 degrees from X. So our point of interest here is X. Our starting point is X. And that X, this is X. X is our starting point, X, here. We draw a vertical line here, and this is our North Pole direction. So we are being told that 3 police posts X, Y, and Z are such that Y is 50 km on a bearing of 060 degrees from X. So the bearing of 060 degrees, the bearing of 060 degrees, we find the bearing in a clockwise direction from the North Pole. So it means that the bearing is supposed to, we use a protractor to measure the bearing of 60 degrees here, from here to here, from here up to where we find the 60 degrees. Then that one will be point Y. That one will be point Y. It will be point Y. Then point Y, and it will be 70. It will be point Y, and it will be 50 kilometers, which is represented by 5 centimeters. So here will be 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters. So on a bearing, 3 police poles X, Y, and Z are such that Y is 50 km on a bearing of 060 degrees from X, while Z is 70 kilometers from Y. So we are having Z 70 kilometers from Y on a bearing of 300 degrees from X. This is X. So how can we measure 300? How can we measure 300 degrees? Maybe we are not seeing there. 300 degrees. How can we get that? 300 degrees. 300 degrees is given by, it is 180 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 30 degrees is giving us 300 degrees, and we measure the bearing from North Pole clockwise. So now we are going to use a protractor to measure this from North Pole up to this side. This is 180. Then when we continue, this is 180 plus 90 plus 30. We use a protractor. 30 will be somewhere here. Then this point will extend, and this is what is going to give us Z. Then we are told that Z is 70 km from Y. ZY. So when we join Z to Y, we are supposed to have 70 kilometers here, which is represented by 7 centimeters. So this is a rough sketch of our diagram. And we can come down here and use our protractor and our ruler. So how do we get 060 degrees? 060 degrees. We use the protractor to get 060 degrees. So from here, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 degrees is here. So we mark here. After marking here, we draw a straight line. Joining our point X is this one. This is our point X. So and our North Pole is here. So we join this X. We draw a straight line like this. Then we are told that the distance between X and Y is 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers, which is represented by 5 centimeters. So we use our ruler to get the measurement of 5 centimeters. So from here to here, 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and we put a mark here. So this is 5 centimeters and it is Y. Then after that, we want to get the measurement of 300 degrees, and we will say that 300 degrees is 180 degree plus 90 degree plus 30 degrees. This is a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees. From here to here is 180 degrees, and here this is a 90 degrees. Then now we find 30 degrees using our protractor. 30 degrees. 30 degrees. So here, this is our point here x. Our point here x. Then we want to find 30 degrees. 0, 10, 20, 30. 0, 10, 20, 30. Then we put a mark here. We put a mark here. Then we draw a straight line from x. We draw a straight line from x, and from x we draw a straight line. From x we just draw a straight line like this from x. Then we are being told that the distance while x, we are told that from x while z is 70 kilometers from y. Three police poles x, y, and z are such that y is 50 kilometers on a bearing of 060 degrees from x, while z is 70 kilometers from y. So this is our point. This is our z. This is our z, and it is 70 kilometers from y on a bearing of 300 degrees. We have already got 300 degrees here. The whole of this 180 plus 90 plus 30 is 300 degrees. This is 300 degrees on a bearing of 300 degrees. So that's why we have drawn this straight line here. Then now we want to get the distance between y and z, which we have been given to be 70 kilometers, and 70 kilometers is represented by 7 centimeters in this our sketch. So now we want to measure, we get a distance of 7 centimeters from y. We get a distance of 7 centimeters from y. So we use our ruler or our compasses, then we measure it with the ruler. So now we use this one, we use it here, we use the ruler here. We use the ruler. So from this is 1, 0, this is 0. We put the mark here of 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we put a mark here. So this is 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. From here to here is 7 centimeters. So now our question here is A. Our question here A. Using a suitable scale, draw a diagram to represent the above situation. So our diagram will look like this one here. Our diagram will look like this one here. Then part B, determine the distance in kilometer of z from x. Of z from x. That is z from x. So z from x, we use our ruler to get the distance in centimeters. So when we use our ruler here, this is 1, 2, 3. So it is 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters. Then now we want to get that one in kilometers. So you can say that distance in kilometer of z from x, distance in centimeters, we have found to be 3 centimeters. 1 centimeter represents 10 kilometers. What about 3 centimeters? It will represent how many kilometers? So we cross multiply 3 times 10 over 1, which is giving us 30 kilometers. So the distance in kilometer of z from x will be 30 kilometer. 30 kilometer. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.